Hello everyone, this is Beastly Eel here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Loki. Now this is Loki episode 5, and if you have not seen it, obviously, as always, pause this video, watch it, and then watch this video. Mostly due to the fact that there is a lot of spoilers, although I will say if you've watched episode 4, um, I can promise you that you will have no concept of what's happening in episode 5 without watching it, for sure. So, the big thing here is it starts off right where it left off, and apparently Loki is the only one left in the TVA. Everyone else is gone. We have no concept of where they are or, you know, what's going on, but it looks like, and he walks through the entire TVA, and apparently he's still time skipping, and um, he has he's having difficulty controlling it, realistically. Nothing more than that. It's just more the fact that it's just happening at random. Um, we see it loop a little bit in the TVA, but then the TVA starts to disappear. Um, it starts to unravel just like Victor Timely did when he went into when he went to go fix the temporal loop, right? Loom, sorry. And what really happens here is so he then starts time skipping throughout the timelines, and he's going to very specific timelines. Um, Apparently, the versions of his friends that were part of their variants and where they were taken from the TV, were taken by the TVA. So, B12 was a doctor in 2012. Mobius was in the 90s and he was selling jet skis in Ohio. We have Casey, who was apparently a prisoner in Alcatraz. Almost said, uh, I almost said the Harry Potter one, so I apologize. Alcatraz. So he was a prisoner in Alcatraz, and then we have Obi, who is apparently attempting to be a writer, although while he's not being a writer, he's decided to be a PhD professor of oh my gosh, physics, or physics. Something's making me say physics. But anyway, but really wants to be a writer. So we have this little thing going on, and apparently he's going back and forth between them all. So Mobius's real life apparently was his wife died, and he's got two sons, and he's trying to basically just get um, by selling jet skis to keep his family together as much as possible. We have, like I said, B15 is apparently a doctor, a pediatrician, it looks like specifically. Um, and she seems to be content with what she's doing. Casey is escaping from Alcatraz and apparently succeeded and was able to cross the river. Like I said, Obi wants to be a famous writer and has not been able to do so yet. I feel like I'm missing somebody. I feel like I'm missing somebody. Obi, Casey, B15. Oh no, you know what? That is it. One, two, three, four. Casey, Obi, Mobius, Casey, B15, and Obi. Casey, Obi, B15, Mobius. I don't know why I've messed that up. I apologize. So, so they're all doing their own thing. So Loki's skipping through them all, and finally is trying to get them to remember who he is, and none of them really do. However, he has the most productive conversation with Obi, who believes what he is talking about. So Loki gives him the TVA manual and tries to get Obi to do whatever he can, right? So he's talking to Mobius, who is at home with his two sons, and apparently Obi creates the time pad, uh, not in the stereotypical sense, but he was able to create a version of it. So he goes through and um, he convinces Mobius to go through the time portal just once to show that he can go back to his sons at any time and his kids are in danger. So then Loki starts going around picking up all of his friends. So he gets B-15, he gets Mobius, he gets Casey, and obviously Obi is already a part of the group. So now they're looking for one more person, and he goes to see Sylvie. And Sylvie remembers everything. So everyone else doesn't remember anything. She's the only one that remembers it all. So she, I don't want to say convinces him because that's not the right word I want to use, but she tries to make him understand that she knows exactly what's happening and it's not that big of a deal. So she takes him out for a drink, and she really wants to know why he wants everything back. And he's like, well, we need to protect the timeline and everything else. She goes, everything's fine. Everyone's living their own lives. What does it matter to you? And it comes to find out that he doesn't want to be alone and he wants his friends. And she goes, that's the most selfish thing you could do. Let them live their lives, the lives that they were supposed to live. So he goes back, basically tells everyone that, this is not going to happen. He screwed up. He apologizes, and that they need to go back to the way they were, and go back to where they were, which I think is very key here. While that's going on, and they kind of have this weird little back and forth thing, Sylvie is goes to a record store and listens to music when time decides to disintegrate in her timeline. And so she then realizes what's going on. She uses the tempad to get to where Loki is. And she basically explains to him, after he's convinced everyone to leave, that it's not going to work out because time itself is literally falling apart. And then it starts to fall apart there when they're ready to go back in the time, use the time pad to get back to the point where everything fell apart. Well, everyone starts to disappear, including the area except for Loki. And Loki was able to start to begin to control his time skipping. And he was able to figure out that he could go back to the point where he needed to go. Because it's not how, it's not what, it's not where, it's not when, it's who. He's got to think of the person he's looking for and he can get there without a problem. So he explains to them that he will be able to fix everything and rewrite everything that happened. And then what happens next is he uses his time skipping ability, gets to what looks like when Obi is watching, what's his name? Um, Actually, well, it looks like the time where Victor Timely went down there, but it's unclear. And then that's how the episode ends. So there's one of two times he could be, right? It could be the time that Mobius himself goes down there and they're trying to save Loki, or it is when Victor Timely goes down right before tempo, um, the temporal loom is destroyed. So it's unclear which one, but it's got to be one of the two for obvious reasons. But the other thing here is, why isn't Loki being affected like everyone else? Well, it actually has to do with the fact that he doesn't exist through time anymore. He was removed from the timeline because of that device, which stopped his time skipping originally. So therefore, he did not exist in any timeline, which meant time itself couldn't affect him, is my guess. And that's why he was able to stay alive when everyone else disappeared. So that's kind of where I'm thinking this is going to go. I don't know what he's going to rewrite. So obviously, the last episode is going to be a rewrite, meaning like he's going to fix whatever the issue is. I know that sounds weird to say, like, oh, there's like a million issues. Yes, you're correct. There are a million issues. But it's unclear exactly what he's going to fix, which will then stop everything kind of cascading together. So for now, he's obviously changing something. I'm very curious to see what it is and how he does it. But overall, I mean, again, Marvel's been doing a great job with this season. Not that I was concerned about it anyway, but it's done such a great job, and I'm hoping it continues. So, I mean, we all know that there's only one episode left. So next week is going to be the season finale of Loki. So very curious to see what happens there. But let me know what you guys thought about this episode in the comments below. Did you like it? Did you not? And why? And as always, if you like the content you see, please like and subscribe below. Other than that, this is going to be Beastly Eel signing out. Have a great night.